If you can't control your emotions will control you. Listen to what I just said, guys. It's very important to take that quote very seriously, okay? So we're going to get into that right now. I'll go ahead and explain what exactly emotions are and how to control that. All right, stay tuned. Stay with me. So let's face it, guys, our emotions at some point in our lives have gotten the best of us, right? Sometimes you made an irrational decision based off of an emotion. You might have told off somebody that was very close to you based off of your emotions. It could have been a significant other, your best friend, could have been a relative. It doesn't matter, right? We all have something called emotions. So we're going to talk about exactly what those are and basically how to control them. So what exactly are emotions? Okay, I'm going to actually read a description here, or so to say, a definition of exactly what emotions are. In psychology, emotion is often defined as a complex state of feeling that results in physical and psychological changes that influence thought and behavior. Listen to that last part. Influences thoughts and behavior. That's crazy, guys. It's just so crazy, but this is like one of the most underrated things, not just in business, but in life, period. If you don't know how to control your emotions, 99% of the times, you're getting controlled by them. And trust me, guys, you don't want to get controlled by your emotions. When that happens, this is when the people start saying, oh my God, why does life hate me? Oh my God, life is such a, so on and so forth, right? It's not really life, it's you, okay? Why should you learn this? Why should I learn how to control my emotions? Well, like I said, we've all had those moments where, we irrationally make decisions. We irrationally just blurt things out of our mouths. And, sometimes we don't mean to say certain things. You might get into a fight with a spouse. And, again, this is not just regarding business, okay? This is regarding life. You might say things, even if you are a business owner, you want to fire somebody and you want to go off on them. And, you have this rage and you just got to show them exactly what that rage feels like. You can't always do that. That's not the best solution. Why? Because you're acting on emotions. If you're going to fire somebody, you got to think logically. If you're going to go off and lash out on your spouse, 99% of the times, you're wrong. It's just, you got to really logically think, why am I about to do this? And it's crazy the way our emotions work, but sometimes you feel like that's the right thing to do because that's what you're feeling. That's wrong. Okay, you got to be very careful with how you react. You got to be very careful with this strong, powerful thing called emotions, okay? Why do you need to learn this? Number one, this is a tactic that I believe everybody needs to know, okay? If you want to be anything in life, if you want to be some sort of leader, if you want to be some sort of, figure, you need to learn how to control that. Okay, because if you don't know how to control your emotions, and I'll keep saying it over and over again, the emotions are going to control you, and obviously that'll reflect on your life. One of the things that I can tell you guys is obviously, making bad decisions, man. You make bad decisions, and this can pertain to anything, even when you're happy. I make decisions, and just to give you guys an example, friends will call me and say, hey, let's go out. And they probably got me in a good mood. Yeah, all right, for sure. Yeah, let's do it. When are we going to go? Oh, we're going to plan it for this next month. We're gonna go out to Vegas, yada yada yada. Okay, cool, yeah, I'm all for it. But last minute, I don't want to go. Why? Because I didn't really want to go in the first place. I kind of just said yeah because, well, I was happy at the time. But now that I logically got to think about it, I no longer want to go anymore. Why do you think that is? And now you just kind of seem like a douchebag to all your friends. In reality, that's not what you're trying to do, right? So you got to be very careful. This doesn't only pertain to you being pissed off. It doesn't pertain to you being sad. It pertains to all sorts of emotions. You have to logically think about every decision before you decide to act on it. Emotion, and I'll say it over and over and over again so it can stay stuck in your head. Emotions are a very, very important thing to be able to control. Okay, so we're going to talk about the 7 different steps, okay, on how to control that. I'm going to go ahead and number them down. You guys already know that I like to talk with you guys on my whiteboard here, right? So let me give you guys a little bit of a scenario here, okay? Well, not a scenario, but basically a what if. So what if you decide not to learn how to control your emotions? You let your emotions get the best of you. Well, guys, a lot of things come into play when you do that. When you make that decision to just say screw it, I'm gonna let whatever happens. I'm gonna go off of whatever I'm feeling. That's fine. But again, your life is gonna reflect on it, I promise you guys. So what happens if you decide not to do it? Number one, you're gonna be very easy to manipulate. A person that someone can go and control their emotions, you're gonna be a very easy person to manipulate. You might be able to get stressed out easily, angry easily, sad easily. It doesn't matter. You don't want to have that, I guess, vulnerability to other people being able to manipulate you through your emotions. So if you can't control your emotions, other people are going to control your emotions for you. 99% of the time, that's what happens. Okay, and this, again, I'm going to say it over and over again as well. It can pertain to your personal life. It can pertain to business, whether you're an employee, whether you're working with coworkers, whether you're a boss, it doesn't matter. This is for life in general. If you want the key to happiness, apart from my previous videos where I talk about self-discipline and all that other good stuff, this is one of the most important things. It's written in so many different books, and I'll explain what those books are at the end of the video so you guys can read up on them. And this is kind of how it kind of lured me to make this video. Obviously, other than the fact that I've had personal experiences myself, this is one of the most important things that I've learned, okay? I've been that person. I've been, and you can talk to anybody. Oh my God, I had such a horrible attitude that it was, I had to sit myself down and talk to myself and, damn, bro, relax, you know, relax, take a chill pill, relax. You know why? Because I was just lashing out, you know, and it just gets to the point where it's difficult to control. It's just, you're consumed by that. But anyway, I don't want to take too much time. I want to get into those 7 steps. Basically, what you're trying to do here is something that we like to call, it's a technique, believe it or not. Being able to control your emotions is a technique. Some of you might take days, some of you might take weeks, some of you might take months, some of you might take years to accomplish this. It's not easy. Me, I fell into the year category. It was very difficult for me to control the depression that I was in. It was very difficult for me to control the anger that I had. I felt entitled. The world owes me things. It's very difficult to control those type of things. So again, it might take some people longer than others. Some people might get it quicker. It's okay. Each to their own and at your own time, right? Again, it is a technique. It's called emotional intelligence. The master of emotions is someone that can remain neutral regardless of beliefs. This allows to gather a diverse set of concepts, which allows them to see the same scenario in different ways. Have you guys ever heard the term, put yourself in somebody else's shoes? I can't stress that enough. You yourself, if you're about to go and lash out at somebody because you believe that that's the incorrect way to do something, you have to think about, hey, maybe the other person grew up different. You know, and just an example, and I don't want to talk about, you know, religion or, you know, politics or anything like that, but just a scenario that I can give you is, you know, somebody that believes in God, strongly goes to church every single day, somebody that, you know, worships God every single day, 24/7, and you yourself, you know, you can be an atheist. It gives you the right to go and automatically assume that that person should believe what you believe in. Everybody's different. You probably grew up that way. They probably grew up another way, right? They might have had a life-changing experience. It's crazy the way society works, but it comes down to that, beliefs. You grew up in a childhood where, you know, beliefs will always be the trigger for your emotions. Your emotions are a trigger of your past. You yourself have beliefs. You might believe in God. You might not believe in God. You might believe in capitalism. You might believe in communism. You might believe in whatever you believe in. Okay? Everybody has their beliefs, and that's where that would trigger emotions. You guys see the Black Lives Matter, the All Lives Matter. They all have their beliefs. It's crazy, but it's just All Lives Matter is, oh my God, this is what we believe in. Black Lives Matter, oh, this is what we believe in, right? And then there's a neutral people. The people that see it from both sides. The people that see, hey, you know, these guys are right, but these guys are also right. It's just crazy the way it works. You got to be very open-minded nowadays. This is crazy, but sometimes your emotions will get the best of you, and that's kind of like something that I'm talking about. Just like I mentioned before, this might take some of you guys some time, okay? It's not going to be easy to do this. This is actually one of the most difficult things that I've had to learn, apart from self-discipline. If you guys seen that on my previous video, that's awesome. If you haven't, I encourage you to check it out. I will put a link in the description so you guys can check that video out, because that's Very important. But apart from that, this is one of the most important things that was very difficult personally for me. I'm a very emotional person. I am. It might not seem like it, but I put emotion into everything. Into these videos, I put emotion into them. I feel like I'm just talking. It's just me and you talking. I'm very emotional right now as we speak, right? But I would say that it's in a good way. I'm controlling the way I feel right now. I'm controlling my emotions. It's a very difficult thing to do, but I'm gonna go ahead and start, okay? We'll start with number one. So number one, the first thing you must do, okay? You must study yourself. I'm gonna go ahead and write this down real quick. So number one, you must study yourself. You are very similar to a book. You are the author, you are the narrator, you are your book. You have to study yourself. Okay, and what do I mean by study yourself? I'm talking about, you know, what is it that gets you angry? What is it that gets you sad? What is it that gets you mad? What is it that gets you depressed? What is it? Find the, we call them trigger points. What is it that triggers that emotion in the first place? Could it be something from your past? Could it be something from, your childhood? Could it be something that you have experienced a while back? Could it be, 99% of the times, guys, the way you feel about certain things, it has to do with your past, right? So you gotta analyze that, study yourself, study your emotions, study what is it that basically triggers that, and learn how to deal with it, right? Number two, and I already talked about this. All right. Never make decisions based off emotions. Man, and I can give you guys like 100 different scenarios. I can give you guys 100 different examples. One of the things that I can give you guys on the self-discipline video, you guys know that I talked about, you know, when you don't want to do something, for instance, the gym, and I'll always use the gym as an excuse. You know, we wake up at 3:45. That's probably one of the most difficult things for people to do. So in order to wake up at 3:45, you got to have a lot of discipline. You got to, the discipline to control your emotion. That emotion that says, man, I got to get up. Because if you let your emotions get the best of you, your emotions are going to be like, oh my God, Anthony, you're tired. You worked so hard. You know, you didn't get enough sleep last night. Oh my God, you're exhausted. You didn't eat right. Oh, dude, you're going to do so much work today. And then my emotions will win me over. And guess what I'll do? I'll stay in bed. Then I'll wake up and I'll have a shitty day. Why? Because I let my emotions control me. That's that guilt that you get. So that's number two. Never make decisions based off of emotions, okay? Number three, I'll write that down too. This is something that I had to basically learn over time. Nobody taught me this. I had to teach this on my own. Learn to step out of your own world. Everybody lives in their world, man. The world revolves around you. Everybody lives in your world, not the other way around. That's one of the mentalities that I had to change over time. I came to realization, okay, that the world doesn't revolve around me. Everybody around you has their own life. They have their own problems. Everybody is different, right? Your problems are not the only problems in the world. There's bigger problems than what you think, okay? Your problem of waking up early to go to the gym ain't shit compared to the little girl in Mexico that's probably not gonna have food when she wakes up, right? And again, that's just a scenario. There's a bunch of different, we have big problems, okay? So you gotta remember that the world doesn't revolve around you. So step number three, very important, you gotta step out of your own world, okay? And there's a following step to that. The following step to that is you gotta identify yourself from another point of view. Remember, you're the author in your book, you're the narrator in your book, so you have to step out and analyze yourself. Okay, this is the problem that I'm facing right now. I'm gonna step out. What advice would I give myself? What advice would I tell myself on you know, how to solve this problem? Okay, you got a problem about, okay, you got a relationship problem. You got 3 different girlfriends, okay? Just an example. You fucked up. Well, what is it that you got to do to fix this problem? So me personally, this is what I would suggest for you. Remember, it's you talking to you. It's the big brother, the big sister that you've never had. You got to talk to yourself. I have meetings with myself all day, every day, because I don't always have a person to talk to in regards to my problems. I have to figure out my problems on my own most of the time. So this is what I do. I'll sit back, I'll analyze my problems, and I'll talk to myself like if I'm a big brother. If my big brother were to talk to me, if I were to go 5 years from now, what would I tell myself now? What would the 30-year-old me tell the 25-year-old me right now? That's the way you gotta see it, right? Other people will say, what would Jesus do? However you want to see it, step out of your problems, step out of your zone, step out of your bubble, and figure it out. Criticize yourself. It's called constructive criticism, right? If you will. Number 4, and this is very important too, man. This is something that I actually I had trouble with as well. Everything that I'm putting on here, by the way, believe it or not, guys, whatever, it's by experience, okay? I've dealt with every single one of these steps. You must control, not ignore. What do I mean by that? You must be able to control your emotions. I'm not telling you to ignore your emotions. Okay, there's a saying that a friend of mine said a while back, and it's stuck to me since. You can never ignore the elephant in the room. And sometimes the elephant in the room is your emotions. I'm not telling you guys to ignore your problems, ignore your emotions, and be happy. Oh, you got a freaking light bill that you haven't paid for 3 months and you're about to get it disconnected. I'm not telling you to go and light up a freaking candle and ignore it. No, I'm telling you that you have to logically and rationally think about it. You have to be able to control that emotion that's not going to cause you to irrationally do what you want, right? I'm not telling you to ignore those problems. I'm telling you to face them head on in a logical way. There's a difference. A lot of people ignore their problems. A lot of people will ignore their emotions. They want to be an emotionless figure. Guys, in reality, that's impossible, man. Everybody has emotions. Animals have emotions. You guys know that that's just, human nature. It's just something that we all have to deal with. It's how you deal with it that matters, right? Number 5, practice inner peace. And man, I could talk about that one all day for sure. I'm big on that. I'm very, very big on that. What does that mean exactly? Practice inner peace. Well, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? I'm talking about, guys, take freaking 30 minutes of your day. If you wait, and I mean this, try this, okay? And it works, I promise you guys. Take 30 minutes out of your day. It doesn't matter whenever you have time. And I want you to sit by yourself. No noise if you can. If you gotta drive somewhere far, maybe you live in a house full of people, whatever the case may be, drive away, take a car ride, take a walk, it doesn't matter. 30 minutes with no phone, no radio, no computers, no electronics, no freaking TV. It's just you by yourself, not with anybody else. 30 minutes of peace and quiet, and meditate. Just meditate. Just think about what your life could be like. Think about your current problems. Think about solutions to those problems, and I promise you guys, your life is gonna get better. It helps. Scientifically proven, man. It's just here's a scan with your brain from not meditating to 6 months or 3 months of just meditation. 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes to an hour a day. Some people go for an hour, some people go for 30 minutes. If you only got 30 minutes, use it. It's gonna help you so much. You getting to know yourself. That's basically what this is, man. You gotta know yourself, right? Number 6, and this is another important one, and this actually this is something that I also had to learn. And again, everything here I already learned, but it's just talking to you guys about these things make me realize, like, damn, okay, I really went through this. So number 6 is knowing when and where to express yourself. What do I mean by that? You got to realize that there's a time and place for everything. When you have certain emotions, you kind of just want to blab out. You want to go and you want to speak your mind. You want to go. And sometimes that's not the best thing to do. Sometimes, believe it or not, guys, one of the best things to do is just to stay quiet. Stay quiet and observe. A lot of people have the need to just blab out what's on their mind, and they're like, dude, I always say what's on my mind. Have you ever heard those people saying that? Well, that's probably not the best thing to do. And I say that from experience because I was one of those people. I used to say whatever came to my mind. I had no freaking filter. If I didn't like something, I would say it, which is fine. It's good. It's good in a way, but it's not good when you do it in the wrong way. There's a time and a place for everything, right? It's just I can't really stress that enough. It's just you got to know when and where to do things. You got to know when and how to say things. Everything has a time and a place. Just remember that, okay? Now, I don't want to make the video too long. I know we're probably here at 15-20 minutes, whatever the case is. Last one is the most important. You can ignore everything else except for this last thing. All right, I'm gonna actually write it over here. Last thing is this. And this is the toughest thing that people have a hard time doing. Listen to what I'm telling you right now. Listen to yourselves. Listen to the person you're arguing with. It's crazy, but I read this in the book too, and I'm gonna give you guys the book. You might be so angry wanting to get your point across because you know 100% that you're right, and you want to get that freaking point across. You're so angry that you're trying to prove yourself to the other person that you're not listening to what the other person is saying. Why? Because you're so blinded by your anger, by your emotion. You're so blinded by getting your freaking point across. You're on a mission. But this is the problem here. 99% of the time, we're just not listening. This can be on both sides. One of you, and then again, this is for different scenarios, but I'm giving you a scenario of an argument here, okay? One of you has to take that freaking moment to listen. Okay, what is this other person trying to tell me? There's a study that they do in college, okay? I'll see if I can find some research on that, and I'll put it up here for you guys. In college, in debate, they have basically it's something that you do, right? So the other person strongly, it was a project that we did. I remember this clearly. It was a debate, and basically the other person had his point of view and I had my point of view. And what threw me off is when the teacher said, "Hey, you guys came to argue about your point of view. You guys came to argue. We had notes, we had everything." And what threw me off is that teacher said, "I want you to argue as if you're defending that person's point of view." So you switch. I gave him all my notes, gave him all my research, gave him everything, and I had to defend his point of view. And I'm just like, what the hell? Why would I do that? And it was crazy the way it worked. It was just because it was getting me to open my mind and see the other person's point of view. And I'm just like, damn, okay, this person really does have some good valid points. And vice versa, same thing with him. He's like, "Hey bro, you got some really good points." You know, it's just crazy the way things work, man. It's just, you gotta listen to other people. Sometimes you're not right. You know, sometimes you have to admit that you're wrong, and that's okay. You have to listen to other people. That's the most important thing. That's going to cause you to feel differently. It's going to cause you to see things differently with a different perspective. It's going to cause you to experience things with a different meaning, right? So I was going to tell you guys about some books. There's 2 books that I would highly recommend, and yes, I did read them. And these are 2 of my favorite books, and I strongly encourage them for those of you that are looking to control your emotions or something similar to that, okay? One of the books that I'm going to talk about here is Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Graziosi. If you guys haven't already read this book, I strongly encourage it. Why? I love this book. He talks about the same thing in this book. He talks about how people are so freaking blinded, and it's just a portion of the book. Obviously, this is just one of the success habits that millionaires have, is controlling their emotions. And he talks about it in this book, and he gets that portion that I'm talking about getting your point across on how blinded people can be. And sometimes you just gotta listen, right? So I strongly recommend this book. This one right here is actually one of my favorite ones, okay? I don't know how popular it is out there. I actually picked up this book off of a mentor that I watched on YouTube, and I picked it up and I read it and I loved it. So Crucial Conversations. It's self-explanatory. It's in the title. So basically this book is about crucial conversations. You're one conversation away from either getting a job or not getting a job. You might be one conversation away from getting the girl you want or not getting the girl you want. You might be one conversation away from a lot of different things, right? Alright guys, like always, thank you so much for sticking around to watch my video. I'm here today. Honestly didn't want to come and do the video today. I'm actually pretty tired. I have my brother and my sister-in-law waiting for me, but I decided that I wanted to be the one to control my emotions. I wanted to be the one with self-discipline, so that's the reason why I'm here. So hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully you guys benefited from it. And again, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, share this with somebody who you think might benefit from this video. And again, until next time, see you guys soon.